Have you ever gotten this extreme feeling of motivation, drive, and ambition to start working on something really bad after you watch some video or podcast that really motivated you? And for the first 1 or 3 days, you're super motivated, you're super excited, you're working all day. And then, the next 3 to 7 days, you're still kind of working, but not as much. And then after a week or two, everything is dead, you're not doing it anymore, and you're completely back into your old habits and your old kind of lifestyle and what you try to run from. And this really frustrates you and it makes you kind of beat yourself down. And you might be wondering, why do I do this, right? Why do I keep sabotaging myself? Well, the short answer is that your mind and the way you look at your life is a complete reflection to your environment. This exact thing happened to me so many times before, I can't even tell you, until I finally realized what it actually is that I need to do to break out of this cycle of constant motivation and then self-sabotaging. And at this point, I've been sustaining myself from my online business for over half a year. And the way that I did this was to simply change my environment to match my goal. For me personally, that looked like arranging my entire apartment to create this content room that you're seeing right here behind me. For one, to create videos, yes, even though I have 8 subscribers, which I am so grateful for, by the way, but I want to actually take this seriously. And the way you take it seriously is that you dedicate some time and some space for it and you actually go and do it. So this entire room is focused solely on having a nice background that I can record YouTube videos with that has some personality. And I have a place that I do some advertisements and that I do some content for my e-commerce brand. And then I have a desk set up where I can do my, kind of deep work or computer work where I can talk with the team and such and such. But for you, that may look very, very different because maybe you're not interested in making a content creation room, or maybe you're not interested in starting your own business. You might just be interested in playing the guitar or learning mathematics. I have no clue. I'm not one to judge, right? But I can talk from my own experience. And the most important thing that I learned is that if you have a room that is kind of messy and it's kind of out of order and it's not really structured at all, then that's exactly what your ventures that you want to do is going to be. They're going to be chaos, they're going to be messy, you're not really going to know what to do, and everything just kind of falls apart and it's not really great. And if you have experienced this thing that I certainly have, and I know that a lot of other people have, and you kind of want to break out of this evil cycle of keep self-sabotaging, then there's 3 things that you can do about it. Right now, I'm gonna go through all of them. The first thing we need to do in anything is to set some ground rules. And in this case, what your new environment is going to be like and what it is. So I'm gonna use myself as an example. My room, this new room that I've created, every night before I go to bed, I tidy up the room and I reset it so that it's ready and clean for tomorrow. The room is only for work and business related activities. That means no games, no movies, no chilling or eating in here. And I change out the air daily to make sure that the air is fresh and comfortable to be in and not like moist and heavy. You know the feeling, right? And these steps just make me feel so good about being in here. I walk in here every morning and I can walk in here with a smile. I'm like, this is a nice day, and it just kind of gives a whole other vibe than falling out of your bed and be like, oh my God, and just going into the room and typing on the computer while you're half dead, right? I am also human, right? So sometimes, yeah, I'll eat it here, right? I mean, there's literally a bowl of some potatoes that I made earlier right there because I was just chilling here late at night. So I'm not always perfect with this and nobody is ever going to be, but as long as it's an abnormality that you eat in here, if that's your rule, instead of it being the norm, right? So think of the 80-20 rule. Secondly, we need to make sure that this new environment of yours is structured and it's with intention and it's planned out. And the way I do it and the way I think is a really, really good idea is to use a calendar of some sorts. I personally use Notion calendar because I have everything in my Notion. But you can use like Google Calendar or Apple Calendar, or you can even use like a physical notebook if you want to map out your day in there. A lot of people I've talked to have tried to do this, planning out your day in a calendar and everything. And a lot of them kind of just gave it up. Maybe you have given up as well, because you kind of start taking it not that serious, and then there's this little thing, and then you need to like rearrange, and and then you don't put it in the calendar and whatever, and then you kind of stop doing it. But there's a way to do this more efficiently, but it requires a little bit more work up front, but it will really help you in the long term. So I will show you an example of my calendar and how I would do this, and also why it works so well when you do it like this. So in your calendar, I want you to map out everything. And I cannot stress this enough. Just writing work on business for 11 to 3, that doesn't work when you get home from school or something like that. Like you can't just be so general. You have to like really like focus down on what you are doing so you can plan and structure out your day. You need to plan your morning routines. You need to plan when you read and what you read. You need to plan when you eat dinner, what you work on and for how long, and when you exercise and when you spend time with your family, you know, everything. And even though that this might also seem generic, you can see that I'm kind of scheduling out what I'm doing and not just work and work and work. I'm kind of like, okay, here I make YouTube scripts, and here I record YouTube, and here I record my ads for my e-commerce business, or here I respond to emails, or here I do this and here I do that. That's very important to actually map out what you're doing, because you know when you look at that in the end of the day and you've done everything, then you know you have actually been productive today, and you can keep consistent with that, because now you're not only consistent for 1 or 3 days, now you're consistent for the entire time, forever, as long as you keep sticking to this calendar. And that's the important part, to stay consistent. Oh, there's an order. Right, so now you know what to do and you know when to do it, and you have a clean and proper space to do so. But there's still one thing missing, and this is the last thing. And this is going to be your why. You may have heard the quote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." And you can use this quote to try to figure out, or try to just at least think about what it is you want and why it is that you want it, right? It may not be that deep for you, or maybe it's really deep and maybe it's really serious for you. But I can promise you one thing: you cannot have everything without sacrificing. If you want $1 billion business, you can't spend 3 hours a day watching Netflix with your girl. And if you want abs, you can't eat McDonald's 3 times a week. And if you want a girlfriend in the first place, you can't be some smelly, unclean person, right? You have to be serious about what you want, and you have to sacrifice some things for it if you really want it. The universe doesn't give you things that you haven't put yourself in front of, and that's the kind of lesson in this last segment. But I don't know what my why is something that you might be thinking right now. But to be honest, I don't really know my 100% either. Like, you don't have to know it 100%, and it's going to change over time. But what I do a lot is I just I look around me, right? I look at people, normal people living their life. The average Joe, let's say. And I look at what they're doing, what they look like, what they eat, what their kind of life philosophy is, how serious they take things, how they treat themselves, and how they treat the other, like, people around them. And that to me is like the scariest thing ever. Like, if you actually go and observe how people treat each other and how they treat themselves and the attitude they have on life, is absolutely like, it's horrible, right? It's terrible. Like, people don't care about their lives. They don't take their life seriously. And that for me is the scariest thing. So my why, at least for right now, is just I do not want to be the average person. I want to do everything that an average person doesn't do. If I see a lot of people doing something, I will just instantly do the other thing, right? But maybe that's not it for you. Maybe you grew up poor and you want to support your family. That could be a why. You know, maybe some people in your family are sick, or they're really unhealthy, and you really want to, kind of be really healthy to help them in that regard. And that might be a why for you. Maybe your entire goal is just to be fit or lose some weight, right? But you still need a great environment to do so. So these steps apply to absolutely everything in your life that you want to achieve. Another thing that can help with this why is that if you've ever seen something, read something, heard something that kind of got you into that thinking place of really motivated and driven. Maybe it doesn't have to be that long. It can be like a quote, or it can be like a clip of some person saying something that really resonates with you. You might want to see if you can find that, or cut that out if it's in a paper or something like that, and try to read that or hear that or say that or whatever, every single day, so that you remember why you're doing it, kind of a daily reminder of why you're doing these things that you're doing and why it's worth sacrificing for. Now, to end this video off, I want to say that everything takes time, and that is completely okay, and it's supposed to take time. If you have some idols or some people that you look up to on YouTube or wherever it might be, go on their page, right? And go put oldest videos, go onto their oldest, most hidden videos. Now, first off, look how long they've been uploading. And secondly, look how different they were back then. Most of them are these awkward kids who doesn't know what they're doing. Their video quality is trash. They're so awkward, they can't speak to a camera, right? But they just kept going. You just scroll through all those videos from 10, 11, 15 years ago. They've been uploading for such a long time. And you look at them and you think, oh, they just got a success instantly. They have been trying and grinding it out for so long. So if you don't see any results in like 3 months, you know, like, of course you're not going to see results in 3 months. Like, why would you ever like expect to see results in 3 months, you know? Because like there's nothing in the world that actually gives you the proof that you can see results in 3 months. There's only people on YouTube who are saying, yeah, how to start your first dropshipping store and be a millionaire by 20 days. That's not the reality, okay? And it's okay that it takes time, because you need to learn it properly. You know, like, don't half-ass your life. This is your life you were talking about. Don't rush it, you know? Take your time, learn it properly, and then you'll get there eventually. But focus on the inputs for now. The output will come, but you need to focus on the inputs first, right? Think of it like this. You're going on a cruise. You're going from America all the way over to Europe, right? This is your cruise. You know that you want to get to Europe in this cruise, right? But for 99.9% of this journey, you won't see Europe. You won't see it at all. You are just on the sea, on the journey, you know, doing your thing. You won't see Europe before you're there, you know? So it's the exact same thing with this journey. Like, if you're trying to get rich and stuff like that, don't worry about not seeing the money instantly, you know? You have to learn a lot of things and come a long way and learn a lot of new people and kind of get all these opportunities before you reach that, you know, output or that goal or that end point that you want to reach. Don't expect to see it that early on, because that's not how it's going to work. And it's better that you realize it and be okay with it now than to constantly feel like you're failing because you're not seeing it already, because you're not supposed to see it already. It's supposed to take a long time. And I myself am a student of this, right? This YouTube channel, it has 8 subscribers and 2 videos. Right? I have no clue if like 10 people or maybe like 5 people will see this video. I hope so, but I don't know if anyone is gonna see this video. But I know that I'm not supposed to blow up like that. You know, I'm not supposed to just blow up instantly and now everybody knows my name and I'm rich and famous. You know, I know that it's not gonna happen, and that's okay. And a really, really good practice of this is actually YouTube, because YouTube takes so long to get going. And that's a really, really good practice to keep uploading and keep like being consistent with it, but not expecting results instantly, right? Because I'm building up a library, I'm building up experience, and I'm building up a lot of like expertise in this field, so that I know in 5 years, if I keep uploading every week for 5 years, I'll be really good at making videos, and I'll probably have a way bigger audience if I just kind of gave up, you know? So that's exactly why I'm a student of this myself, and I'm kind of in the same boat as you. So hope that you can kind of resonate with it and kind of trust me on that, you know, it's okay that it takes time. I mean, I now have a business that actually generates me money every month. I think I had like $1,000 day today, or €1,000 a day, so probably like more in dollars. I started getting into this like whole business space 4 years ago, right? It took me 4 years just to make my first dollar. So, you know, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't go like that. It just doesn't, and that's completely fine. Because I've learned a lot now, so now it's much easier for me to get going again every time I fail or every time something happens. I can get going so much faster because I've gone through the motions. I've gone through so many times, so many years of tribulations. So it's just easier for me now. And I'm so happy that I went through that, even though I hated it at the time. If there was something I forgot to cover in this video, if there's something you're struggling with, something that you kind of feel like I forgot, or something, just any question you have about whatever I'm doing, then make sure to put it in the comments, and I would be happy to either make a new video on it or you know, just respond to you in the comments. I would be forever grateful if you would want to leave a like on the video, or even subscribe if you think that I deserve that. I am trying to at least post 1 video every week, kind of different or difficult here that we have so many things to do, but I try to plan it out in my calendar, you know, and get this video out there. But anyway, this video already is longer than I expected, so thank you everyone for watching. I will pray for all of you, and God bless you guys.